Welcome to the representation theory course. This is the 16th lecture. Today we are going to talk about tensor products of representations. This is a very useful construction and quite often it can be used for constructing irreducible representations of finite groups. So we will begin with some very basic ideas that you may already be aware of. So definition: let V and W be two vector spaces over the field of complex numbers. So all these constructions are very general and can be defined over any field. So since we are working over complex numbers, so we'll just take complex vector spaces. Then the tensor product of V and W, which we denote by V, this tensor sign W over C, is a vector space and it is defined as a quotient of the vector space whose bases are these symbols V tensor W, where V is a vector in V and W is a vector in capital W. And then you go modulo the subspace spanned by the following vectors. So consider V1 plus V2. This is a vector in V, and then consider this symbol V1 plus V2 tensor W. And from that you subtract these vectors minus V1 tensor W minus V2 tensor W. Dually V tensor W1 plus W2 minus V tensor W1 minus V tensor W2, and alpha V tensor W minus alpha times V tensor W, dually V tensor alpha W minus alpha times V tensor W, where V, V1, V2 are vectors in V, W, W1, W2 are vectors in W, and alpha is of course a scalar complex number. Okay. So what are the, let us observe some properties of tensor products. If V1, V2, so on, Vm, and W1, W2, so on, Wn, is a basis of V and W respectively, then look at this set Vi tensor Wj, where I of course run from 1 to m and j run from 1 to n. This forms a basis for the tensor product V tensor W. So notice that for convenience we will not write C in the subscript very often. Let's observe another property of tensor product which is useful in representation theory. So there are natural isomorphisms between these vector spaces. U tensor V tensor W is isomorphic to U tensor V and then tensor it with W. Second, the tensor product distributes over the direct sum. U direct sum V tensor product with W is isomorphic to U tensor W direct sum V tensor W. Alright, so with those properties in hand, let us develop it further. So how the linear transformations of vector spaces induce linear transformation on their tensor products? So let's observe it. So if A from V1 to W1 and B from V2 to W2 are linear transformations of vector spaces, then we can define a linear transformation which we denote by A tensor B. from V1 tensor W2, sorry, we can define a linear transformation A tensor B from V1 tensor V2 to W1 tensor W2 by setting A tensor B acting on V1 tensor V2 as A of V1 tensor with B of V2, where V1 belong to V1 and V2 belong to V2. You can easily check that it's a linear transformation. Further, if you fix basis for the vector spaces V1, V2, W1, W2, then by the preceding proposition, which we left as an exercise, we get basis for V1 tensor V2 and W1 tensor W2. So once we have basis for V1 tensor V2 and W1 tensor W2, and A tensor B is a linear transformation from V1 tensor V2 to W1 tensor W2, we can write down the matrix for A tensor B. So then we can write down the matrix for A tensor B with respect to the basis of V1 tensor V2 and W1 tensor W2. What is interesting is that it turns out that the matrix of A tensor B is the tensor product of the matrices of A and B with respect to the given basis. Tensor product of matrices can be defined easily. So if you have a matrix A and a matrix B, just multiply, consider it as block matrices where each block is B and it is scaled by an entry from A. So if A is a M by N matrix, B is a P by Q matrix, then A tensor B will be MP times NQ matrix. Now let us define tensor product of representations. So let phi from G to GLV and psi from H to GLW be representations of groups G and H respectively. Then we define what called the exterior tensor product of phi and psi. The exterior tensor product, let us denote it by phi square tensor notation psi, and it's mapped from G times H, direct product of G and H, to GL of V tensor W, given by phi exterior tensor psi will act on a pair of elements little g comma little h. This will give an invertible linear transformation of V tensor W. So it should now act on generating elements of V tensor W. So that is little v tensor little w, and it act as follows. It is same as phi sub g of V tensor with psi sub h of W. Alright, where little v belong to capital V, little w belong to capital W, and g belong to G and h belong to H. One can easily check that this exterior tensor product is indeed a representation of G cross H. We need to show it's a group homomorphism, so maybe we can check it. Consider phi exterior tensor psi acting on product of two elements in G times H, which is little gh into little g prime h prime. This will act on a generating vector, that is V tensor W, which is same as, by definition, now multiply the two group elements in G times H, that become GG prime comma HH prime, because it's a direct product. It will act on V tensor lateral W, which now by definition is same as phi of GG prime acting on V tensor with psi of HH prime acting on W. But we know that phi and psi are representations, so they are group homomorphisms. So I can write it as phi g into phi g prime of V tensor psi h into psi h prime of W. But that you consider phi g prime V and psi h prime W as vectors, so this is just same as phi exterior tensor product with psi acting on the pair GH. So this automorphism act on phi g prime of V tensor with psi h prime of W. Okay, now this again you do the same process and it become phi exterior tensor psi GH acting on phi exterior tensor psi of G prime H prime acting on the vector V tensor W. Alright, this implies that phi exterior tensor psi of this product of two element in G times H, namely GH into G prime H prime, is same as phi exterior tensor psi acting on GH precomposed with phi exterior tensor psi of G prime H prime. Thus, exterior product of two representations is again a representation. What can we say about the degree of the exterior product? It turns out that it is simply the product of the degrees. So if the degree of the representation phi is n and degree of the representation psi is m, then degree of phi exterior tensor with psi is m into n. This follows because dimension of V tensor W as a vector space is same as dimension of V times dimension of W. Very elementary observation. Now what can we say about the characters of exterior tensor product? Let us analyze this. So it turns out that character of phi exterior tensor psi acting on a group element GH is same as chi phi acting on G times chi psi acting on H for all G in G and H in H. Let's prove it. So consider chi of phi exterior tensor psi acting on the group element GH of the direct product G cross H. By definition, this is same as trace of phi exterior tensor psi at GH this transformation. But what is this? This is same as trace of phi G tensor psi H. And what is the trace of the tensor product of two linear transformations or equivalently two matrices? It turns out to be same as trace of phi G times trace of psi H, which is just same as chi phi of G times chi psi of H. Thus it is quite simple to compute characters of exterior tensor product of representations. Let us see what can we say about irreducibility of this representation. So if phi from G to GLV and psi from H to GLW are two irreducible representations of G and H respectively, then phi exterior tensor with psi which is a representation of G times H into GL of V tensor W, is also irreducible. Very interesting result. Let us prove it. Since phi and psi are given to be irreducible by the irreducibility criteria, that the inner product of its character with itself is 1, we have that inner product chi phi is same as 1, which is also same as inner product of chi psi with itself. Now again try to use the irreducibility criteria for the exterior tensor product. So consider chi of phi exterior tensor psi, chi of phi exterior tensor psi, this inner product in the group algebra, which by definition is same as 1 by order of the group, which is order of G times order of H, summation little g till little h belonging to G times H, equivalently little g belonging to G and little h belonging to H, of chi of phi exterior tensor psi of GH into its complex conjugate, which is same as mod square, which is same as summation G in G, H in H, chi phi of G mod square times chi psi of H mod square. But now you see that this is simply this product 1 by order of the group G, summation G in G, chi phi of G mod square times similar expression for H, 1 by order of H, summation little h in H, chi psi of H mod square. But this is just same as inner product of chi psi with itself times inner product of chi psi with itself, which is 1 into 1, that is 1. So by irreducibility criteria, it turns out that the exterior tensor product of two irreducible representations is again irreducible. Let us write an interesting consequence of the preceding observation. So if phi 1, phi 2, so on phi s, and psi 1, psi 2, so on psi t are complete lists of inequivalent irreducible representations of G and H respectively, two groups G and H, then look at this set. Phi I exterior tensor with psi j, where of course I vary from 1 to S and j vary from 1 to t, is a complete list of inequivalent irreducible representations of G times H. In fact, it turns out that every irreducible representation of G times H arises in this fashion. Let us prove it. So the important thing to note here is that the number of conjugacy classes in product of two groups is same as the number of conjugacy classes in one group times the number of conjugacy classes in the other group. Okay, and since the number of conjugacy classes in the first group is same as the number of irreducible representations, inequivalent irreducible representations of that group, and the number of conjugacy classes in the other group is same as the number of inequivalent irreducible representation of that group, therefore the exterior tensor product of irreducible representation phi I of G and psi j of H gives the complete list of inequivalent irreducible representations of the direct product G cross H. So now let us specialize this construction. So if phi from G to GLV and psi from G to GLW are two representations of the same group G, then we define their tensor product. Then their tensor product, which we denote by the tensor product notation phi tensor psi, from G to GLV tensor W, is defined as phi tensor psi at a group element should act on a element of V tensor W, little v tensor little w, as phi sub G of V tensor phi sub G of W. Notice that is the same definition. So basically, instead of pair GH, I am taking the same group element. So you can think of it as a pair GG. So let us put it as a remark. So if delta from G to G cross G is the diagonal homomorphism, which take an element little g to the pair little g comma little g, then phi tensor psi is simply, consider this diagonal homomorphism delta and then compose it with the exterior tensor product of phi and psi. Okay, notice that delta G, image of G under delta, is a subgroup of the direct product G cross G. Therefore, phi tensor psi can also be thought of as restriction of the exterior tensor product phi exterior tensor psi on delta of G, which is nothing but isomorphic to G. Let's put one more remark here. If phi and psi are irreducible representations, then we just showed that their exterior tensor product phi exterior tensor psi, which is a representation of G times G into GLV tensor W, is an irreducible representation of G times G. But the tensor product of two representations is not irreducible in general. Remember that tensor product, if we take the same group, then the tensor product phi tensor psi is a restriction of phi exterior tensor psi on G viewed as a diagonal in G cross G. So let us see an example. So let us take phi and psi to be same, and it's a representation of the symmetric group S3 into GL2C. We know that the symmetric group S3 admits a degree 2 irreducible representation. Take phi and psi to be such a representation. Then phi tensor psi is a degree 4 representation of S3. It's a representation of S3 into GL4C. But we know that S3 does not admit any degree 4 irreducible representation. Therefore, phi tensor psi cannot be irreducible. Okay, so thus tensor product of two irreducible representations need not be irreducible in general. However, if we take tensor product of an irreducible representation with a degree 1 representation, then it is irreducible. So let us now try to extend the dimension theorem, which we proved in an earlier lecture, which says that degree of an irreducible representation of a finite group divides the order of the group G. So in order to extend this result, we need this following basic observation. Let us write it in the form of a proposition. So let phi from G to GLV be an irreducible representation of a finite group. All our representations are finite in this course. Let H be a normal subgroup of the group G. Normal subgroup of G such that when you restrict your representation phi on H, it is trivial, such that phi sub H is identity for each little h belonging to capital H. This gives rise to an induced group homomorphism from G mod H to GLV. Notice that H is a normal subgroup, so G mod H is a group. So the claim is that then the induced representation, let us denote it by phi bar, from G mod H to GLV is also irreducible. So let us prove it. Since phi is irreducible, by the irreducibility criteria, we have inner product of chi phi with itself is 1. Let us enumerate the coset representatives of H in G. Let us say G1, G2, so on, Gk be coset representatives of H in G. Then we know that G is a union of cosets, so G can be written as G1H union G2H, so on Gkh, right? So each element in the group G falls in exactly one of the cosets since they form a partition of the group G. So now consider this inner product of the character of phi bar with itself. I want to show that this is 1. So inner product chi phi bar by definition is 1 by order of the group, which is index of H in G. Then summation I from 1 to k, absolute value of chi of phi bar GIH mod square, which is the same as order of H by order of G, summation I from 1 to k, trace of phi bar at GIH mod square, which is same as order of H by order of G, summation I from 1 to k, trace of phi of GI mod square. Because phi bar acting on the coset GIH is defined as simply phi of little gi, which is just same as 1 by order of the group G. Now take this order of H inside, so I can write it as summation I from 1 to k, order of H times chi of phi acting on GI mod square. Okay, now notice the following. For each element GI times H in this coset GI capital H, we have chi phi of GIH by definition is trace of phi sub GIH, right, which is just same as trace of phi GI into phi of H, because phi is a homomorphism. But what is phi H? Phi H is just identity, therefore it is just same as trace of phi GI, which is just same as chi phi of GI. So therefore if we multiply the coset representatives by any element of H, the character value is the same. So therefore I can write inner product chi phi bar with itself as 1 by order of the group G, summation I from 1 to k, and now this order of H time that expression I replace as summation little h in H and chi phi of GI little h mod square. Alright, but since the cosets form a partition of the group G, this double summation is just same as little g in the group G and chi phi of G mod square. But what is this? This is just inner product of chi phi with itself, which is 1 because phi is given to be irreducible. Thus, we have shown that the induced representation phi bar is also irreducible using the irreducibility criteria. So now let us prove the extension of the dimension theorem. We have built up the necessary background. Let phi be an irreducible representation of a finite group G if Zg denotes the center of the group G, then degree of the representation phi divides order of G by Zg. That is, degree of the representation divides index of the center in the group G. So let us prove it. So let phi from G to GLV be the given irreducible representation. And let us say the degree of the representation phi be D. Now for each integer m bigger than or equal to 1, we define phi superscript m as the m-fold exterior tensor product of phi with itself, which is a representation of G to the power m into GL of V tensor so on m times, right? So I am going to use this phi superscript m to deduce the result. Since phi is given to be irreducible and we know that exterior tensor product of irreducible representation is irreducible, phi m is also irreducible. Okay, we proved this result in this lecture. Now consider the following subgroup of m-fold Cartesian product of G with itself. Namely, so let us denote this subgroup by Z. This consists of m tuples G1, G2, Gm belonging to Zg times so on Zg m copies, such that the product of all these elements is 1. G1 into G2 into Gm is 1. Okay, it can easily be checked that it's a normal subgroup of G times G m copies. In fact, it's a normal subgroup of the center mth power of center. Now notice that for each G belonging to center of the group G, we have that phi G into phi x is same as phi of Gx because phi is a homomorphism. But G is in center, this is same as phi of xg, which is same as phi x into phi g for all x in the group G. What does this imply? This implies that phi sub G is in home G phi phi. That is, it's a morphism of the representation phi which is irreducible for each little g in G, center of the group G. So therefore, by Schur's lemma, we know what are such morphisms. Self-morphisms of an irreducible representation are simply scalar multiples of the identity. Therefore, phi g is lambda g times identity for some lambda g belonging to, in fact, C star, because each phi g is invertible. Thus, if you pick up any element, let us say G1, G2, Gm in this subgroup Z, we have consider phi superscript m at G1 to Gm acting on this vector V1 tensor V2 so on tensor Vm. This by definition of the exterior tensor product is same as phi g1 acting on v1 tensor so on phi gm acting on vm. But we know that each phi sub gi is multiplication by lambda gi. So therefore it is lambda g1 times v1 tensor so on lambda gm times vm. Okay, now use the definition of tensor product. The scalars come out, that is same as lambda g1 to lambda gm times this vector v1 tensor vm. Let us analyze what this complex number lambda g1 to lambda gm is. But notice that g1 g2 gm is 1 because I have picked this tuple g1 to gm from the subgroup z, which implies that phi of g1 g2 gm is phi of 1 is same as 1. But phi is a homomorphism, that implies phi g1 into phi g2 into so on phi gm is the identity operator, whereas each phi gi is scalar multiplication by lambda gi. Therefore we must have lambda g1 lambda g2 so on lambda gm equals to 1. So therefore if I mark this equation as star, star gives that the phi superscript m at this group element g1 to gm acting on the vector v1 tensor vm is just same as v1 tensor vm. That is, the representation phi superscript m when I restrict on z act trivially. Therefore by the preceding result, the induced representation phi m bar from m-fold Cartesian product of G mod this subgroup Z to GL of m-fold tensor product of V with itself is irreducible. Alright, so now we have an irreducible representation of a finite group, and therefore by the dimension theorem the degree of this representation divides the order of the group G. So degree of phi superscript m bar divides order of the group G, which in this case is order of Gm by order of Z. This is equivalent to saying that d to the power m divides this integer for all m bigger than or equal to 1, and this is possible only if d divides order of G by Zg. So this completes the proof of the theorem. I will stop here. Thank you.